También Caerás es un increíble programa de humor para toda la familia, que se caracteriza por llevar las bromas y cámaras escondidas a otro nivel, y donde la gente común y corriente termina siendo protagonista de situaciones extremadamente divertidas, inusuales y hasta aterrorizantes.
Welcome to Podcast Plays. Crow Country. This is your host, Lily Abernathy. Thank you for joining us. This week we bring you coverage of a recently released indie game titled Crow Country, a third-person horror adventure game. Inspired by the 1990s PS1 era, with an aesthetic of Resident Evil 1 or even Final Fantasy VII. Wonderfully blocky PS1-style graphics and 90s-style gameplay, but without the terrible controls of decades past. While inspired by other games of years past, this game is uniquely its own and deserves your attention. All footage shown in this video will be of what's available in the demo, which can be downloaded on Steam, as to avoid any major spoilers. The demo is a very generous 25 to 40 minutes, depending on your speed and the amount of exploration you do in the given area. The game contains two modes. One allows you to focus on the story and puzzles, while the other is labelled Survivor Horror Mode and spawns enemies. Naturally, Horror Survival Mode is the way to go, but no knock on anyone who simply wants to enjoy this very well-crafted story. The game begins with the introduction of the main character, Special Agent Mara Forrest, while driving to the main location of the game. Upon arriving, you are given access to a few items in the area, as well as a file introducing you to a bit more of the story. After having to shoot the lock off the gate, you enter the amusement park and are introduced to all the controls and a nifty light. Exploring the area and searching things like trash cans can reward you with consumables like medkits or simply trash. Moving on and exploring the park more, you will eventually find more upgrades and additional items to help you along your journey. Make sure to check all signs, posters, and books as they reveal clues as well as help expand the narrative of the story. And watch out for bear traps. You'll eventually make your way to Arthur Mole, photographer of the photos of the weird creatures you will have found up until this point. After assisting Arthur, you will continue to make your way through the park, where you will encounter your first puzzle. Please note that I had already played the demo before buying the game, and I had failed this puzzle my first attempt and was poisoned. some point after assisting Arthur, the weird creatures that you noticed in the photographs should start appearing. You will need to eliminate them in order to continue your journey. Please note that even in the demo, there are several different types of creatures. Around this time, you should be making your way to the next area, which includes a classic-style save point from games that used to require memory cards. Without spoiling too much, this basically completes the demo. While I won't divulge any more into the story, I will say that I have completed the game, and it is incredibly good. The story, while reminiscent of something like Resident Evil, Silent Hill, or Parasite Eve, very much stands on its own. It's an entertaining and creepy mystery, filled with enjoyable gameplay that not only does its predecessors justice, it polishes them. It is a reminder that not everything needs to be a AAA experience, that you can make something that both honors and expands on ideas of the past, bringing an incredibly engaging experience to both old and new fans of the genre. Depending on your speed, the game should last about 6 to 9 hours. Unless you are someone who is adverse to the horror genre altogether, I highly recommend this game to anyone. It's unique, super engaging, well written, and clearly a project of passion, which is something I'm all about. The studio behind the game SFB Games has already announced that they will be adding a hard mode to the game soon as well. The game is currently available on Steam, Xbox Series X and S, as well as PlayStation 5 for $19.99. We hope you give the demo a try and maybe even buy the game. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the podcast. Follow us at Podcast the Pod on X, formerly Twitter. This has been Lily Abernathy, signing off.